Hello everyone and welcome to the video. Today I'm going to show you how I like to organize my stash to try and help you spend less time in the menus of Tarkov and more time in Raid. So the first thing that I want to go over is what sort of cases you should have as a player. The most important case I think to start off with is the Lucky Scav Junk Box, which is this one here. You can buy it from Therapist level 2 for 100 dog tags, or Therapist level 1 for 1.1 million. It's definitely worth the price to get one of these. I end up usually going for 2 because I like to separate my items either by technical items, which are like electronics or medical. So I have my first box here, or I have my other option, which is mechanical. And this is going to be anything like screwdrivers, filters, uh, these threads, other things like that. The reason I just separated into two simple categories is so I do not have to process while I'm offloading stuff I find in Raid. I just think technical or mechanical. And it's actually a very easy way to think about it, and it helps me organize quickly. The other case that you're going to want is some sort of medical case. This also can be found from therapists, I believe level 2, which is level 14, I think. And you unlock this barter. So you just need a couple of blood sets, syringes, Vaselines, or med tools. The other important barter at level 2 is for the documents case. I end up getting a documents case for all of the maps I like to play. You could do it that you get a case for every single map, but for example, I do not actually end up having a lighthouse one because I have this extra one. And so when I throw in some of my lighthouse keys when I'm questing, but after I achieve Kappa, I'm done playing that map because I don't like playing that map. So yeah, I would just say I would get some of these for the maps you like to play. And then you can also just have an extra one that you take in for the maps you don't like to play, and you can stash the keys around and about. After that, I would say it's important to have a money case. It's not super important, but it is nice. I like to keep it at the top of my stash so I can throw cash in after selling very quickly. A food case is always important. Basically, any food in Tarkov is going to be worth the slot value, so it's always worth picking up. It's also worth eating food in Raid so you max out your metabolism level so you don't end up in a scenario where your metabolism is going to kill your character. Thick item cases are completely useless. Look at this. It's full, 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 full. And then on top of that, I have all this armor and other stuff. Now, the reason I say that they're useless is because when I put something into one of those cases, I almost never use it then again. It's almost like a dead zone. And so, yes, it's nice to have them for storing stuff, but it really shouldn't be your goal of collecting these items. What is far more valuable, in my opinion, is one items case, which can be bartered for, I think with dog tags, I think 150 of them, maybe. Not do that. Or 14,000 euros. Can also do that. Or, yeah, a bunch of dog tags, but I don't want another one. The reason I like the items case is you can end up putting in ammo boxes and magazine cases to basically cover your bases. Magazine cases, you're only going to want to be storing high capacity magazines. As you can see here, I've been a little bit lazy and thrown in some 30 rounders. You don't want to do that. 30 rounders are not worth keeping unless it is an AS Val. That is the only one that comes to mind. Those 30 rounders are quite expensive, so it's worth hanging on to those. But I generally just throw in high capacity magazines into these. And then I have my ammos separated by caliber. This helps me just stay organized, which in tune helps me get into Raid faster because I'm not looking for stuff as long and I can offload stuff quickly. Another thing is you want a stack of backpacks. I usually say that you should not keep that many backpacks. So at some point I stop collecting like, what are they called? The switchback backpacks? I'm going to look real quick what size it is. Yeah, something like this, a tri-zip. This size, I stopped collecting them. I also stopped collecting the Burkut and the Scav backpacks pretty early on because they are not that useful. But another thing about the backpacks is you never want to have a stack that is very deep. So you can get into your backpacks quickly, because really having 300 backpacks is irrelevant. You don't need that many, so stop keeping them. Also, do not fill in the backpack full of stuff at the end of the stack. You always want to be able to drop one in there quickly or put one on quickly. Filling this last backpack up is going to slow you down an incredible amount, so I really would not advise that. The last thing I would say for staying organized, and this is something that I struggle with myself just because I kind of hoard onto things, is it can be useful at the beginning of the wipe, but once you're mid-wipe and have at least a scav junk box, stop doing this. Do not fill rigs with random junk. It's a little bit easier to say that as someone who has EOD because we have more stash space, but filling these items in these rigs is honestly just slowing me down. And it ends up to a point where, like I said, they become dead spaces because I'm like, well, where am I going to put all these grenade launchers and thermals that are stored in these rigs or these helmets? The best thing you can do for yourself is not keeping so many items, because really it's just going to slow you down in how fast you can move and everything like that. So now I'm going to show you how I organize after I get out of raid. So this is a raid that I survived. I actually had a different weapon, but I think I ended up using it or selling it for some reason. So this is not the gun I had, but I'm just simulating what it was like after this raid. These are all items that I collected in raid. I played this a couple of days ago, so I'm not super familiar with it, but I'm going to show you what I keep and what I throw away. Okay, so the first thing I know is red pliers sell well to dealers. This sells well to dealers. GP coins I will keep for a barter just because I like them. The kites, I like to use those for making gunpowders. I can sell this. This is good. It's food. Sell that. Sell that. Keep food. Keep food. Put grenades away. I can sell this to dealers. I keep this for my grenade case boxes or magazine boxes. You can make both. I like to hang on to dog tags, but you don't have to. It's kind of irrelevant for me. I like Suelas, so I keep those. I keep the metal parts for my cases. Wires, I can probably keep those. I will sell this to dealer, sell this to dealer. I'll keep that. Dealer, 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 dealer. Suppressors go to dealer, so do scopes. Those bullets will go to dealers. I'll sell that to a dealer. This I will flea market. I'll keep that. I'll keep that. I'll keep that. I will sell the rig. I will flea market that. Sell that to a dealer. Capacitors, I'm just going to offload to a dealer too because I just don't care. I'm going to sell those to the dealer. I will keep the magazine. Then let's say I took this gun off of a player. What I'm going to do is quickly reorganize that. I don't think I'm going to need this, but I will keep the ammo. So what I will do is keep the voodoo and keep the suppressor. Throw the suppressor in there. Throw the scope in there. I'll sell the rest. And then we can go real quick. I first sell to therapist because she gives you the best prices for the items she will buy. Some of these key prices you can check, but it's late wipe, so it does not matter. Capacitors probably could have gotten a better deal on the flea market, but I don't care. Sell these. I will sell the bullets. Fragman will take this. I know these bastion plates usually go for a lot, so I'm just going to check. Yeah, like 500,000 for a bastion plate is absurd. They are not worth that. But I will go ahead and throw that on the flea market. Throw this on the flea market because I know this is also valuable. I'm just going to go for 500,000. Don't really care. That looks about right. I mean, some people are probably could have gotten another 150, but as you can see, I don't need it. And just like that, in about a minute and a half, we are already sold, and I drop my money in there. And my character is ready to go. The one last thing I guess you could do is, let's say I have my ammo. I take my ammo in here. And yeah. Oh, I also forgot, in the docs case, you might have some items. The manual I will keep for barter. You will quickly realize what is worth selling to dealers versus the flea market. I would say in the first 2 months of a wipe, it's worth checking items to see if they sell to the flea market. These can include like hoses, nails, other things that are used for your hideout upgrades, such as like computer fans. Computer fans usually hold value pretty good. But you will quickly realize what items are valuable and what items you should keep. I like to keep items I will use. So any barter items, any medical things, any ammo, things like that, I keep, or things that I use for crafts. Everything else, I sell. And I generally like to keep stacks of stuff. So I keep not every single item that sells well on the flea market, but just a handful. That way, once I have like 10 or so of the items, I make the flea market listing and I don't spend too much time in the menu. The other thing I would stress is never use the auto sort and always keep this top area free so you can control click from your character, or it's control click to put in your stash or alt click to put on. And that way you can just quickly put stuff there or back on your character. So this is how I organize my stash. You will also learn what items you need to keep for the quest line. But if you are truly a new player starting off, do not worry about that. The only items I would suggest keeping would be found in raid flash drives and maybe fuel conditioner, but that is quite a late quest. I think most people are not going to get to that point on their first wipe, but the flash drives is an early one that a lot of people get stuck on. So make sure to hang on to those if you're just starting out. Otherwise, find a spot to put it in your stash or sell it. Keeping space in your stash to be able to move stuff quickly back and forth is so important. I cannot stress it enough. Yeah. So that's how I like to keep my stash organized. I hope some of these tips were helpful, and I'll catch you on the next video.